everyone. So every time I go on Facebook Live, I don't know if you've noticed, they either cut my service totally or, you know, something happens. So we are back. We are back live after they cut us. But we're not going away, right? So here we are again, and I have a great story. We're going to wait until a few more of you get online because I know there were 100 people watching the previous one. So we're going to wait for the numbers to go up, and then we're going to share Gina's story.
Yes.
And there's the Vax bus right there. Woo! How do I do that? Ah, there we go. We would be a little bit closer, but they're doing live interviews. And actually, they commented on the last video, "We hear you inside the bus. Love you." And I'm like, okay, hi. I'll move away. So here we are. And, whoop, sorry. All right. I'm kind of waiting for a few more people to jump on. But I'm here at the Vax bus. I'm going to tell my story. I don't know if you caught the other video, but I was injured by a HepB vaccine when I was 25, right before going to work for Merck. And ironic, because it's a Merck vaccine. And but I'm going to share my story on the Vax bus. Maybe I'll do a real video afterwards for you guys here too, more in detail. But I got irritable bowel syndrome right after, and I broke out in hives the next day. I went back to the doctor. He said, "Oh, I have no idea. You must have eaten something that you're allergic to." And as we all know, that the skin issues are sometimes the first outward sign of internal damage. So 2 weeks later, I was back getting a referral to a gastroenterologist because I was having massive cramping, like debilitating cramping going on every afternoon. Well, not every, but probably 4 or 5 times a week, and I would be doubled over in pain on my couch. So he did blood tests, stool tests, and he diagnosed, and I say diagnosed because really they just put a label on something and hand you a prescription because they don't really know what's going on. He didn't ask what had triggered it. I said, "But a month ago I was fine. What happened?" And he said, "I don't know, you developed it, I guess." Well, you don't develop autoimmune things, really, right? Genetically, we're prone to certain things, but you have to have that toxic trigger. And for me, that toxic trigger was the vaccine. It put me over the edge, and I developed and manifested an autoimmune issue. So that's my story that I'm going to tell on the bus, and I'm going to sign the bus a little later. And right now, we have Gina, and she's going to share her story.
Simple. Mine's actually kind of reversed. I have 2 older children, 25 and 21, never vaccinated. I just chose healthy immunity. I always felt my breast milk was enough. And I don't know where I lost it. I don't know where never a well visit. They never saw a doctor. I was their natural healer. I was older when I had my 3rd. And I think that by the time, he was 7 months, they kept forcing me on, like, "Oh, he's gonna die." I mean, the fear mongering was overwhelming, and I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to this doctor-patient relationship and the way I really believed in them. So after finally 7 months, gave him his vaccine. I believe it was the varicella. The flu shot, and it was the HIB. Not kidding you. And I didn't know this still until years later. 2 months later, he was at the children's hospital. He stopped thriving. He had tics, sensory issues. He never slept. He cried all the time. It was so sad. When we went to the hospital, the children's hospital, they said there's nothing, they couldn't find anything. Not once did they say it could have been a correlation to the vaccine. Not once. Not once did they give me an opportunity to see that the actual insert said these types of reactions could occur. Not once was I told that these vaccines were safe or effective. So, and they're not. And they're so not. So it took me about a couple months going back and forth to the children's hospital. Got a couple of people helping us with his motor skills because he didn't have motor skills. He was my only baby that didn't walk until he was about 15, 16 months because he had no muscle tissue. He was a skeleton till he was 4 years old.
Okay, pause. Pause. We have a little interruption. There's some construction going on. Live filming.
So he was completely malnourished. He almost looked malnourished to that point. I just said enough with the doctors. I just prayed, and I started investigating more. when I started fighting the SB 277 is when I realized his story was Eric Gladden's story.
Yep.
We watched it together. At 10 years old, and he's crying, telling me that's how my brain felt, Mom. That he would tell me he wanted to stab his brain with a knife.
Yeah. And the sad thing is that when they're babies, they just scream. Where do we get colic from? Colic is not a disorder. It's because their brain is hurting them. It's on fire, and all they can do is scream.
Yep.
They don't have words. And why does colic happen between 2 and 4 and 6 months?
His stomach was bloated.
It's because of the vaccine schedule. So, oh my
So
God, I'm devastated. I'm so sorry.
So by that time, I started doing the chelated therapy. I started getting into like more of a natural remedy to detox his body. I prayed a lot, and now he's doing so much better.
That's awesome.
I mean, I live the data.
Did you follow a protocol or anything?
Yeah, Andy's Cutlers.
Andy Cutler's?
Yeah. And you know,
I get
you
that
gotta
question
be
all
very
the time.
careful how you administer these, because you can reverse anything.
Yeah.
And I was told at 19 years old you can reverse any illness, and I believe that.
If we support the body in healing itself.
Food.
The body is miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
Food, supplements, because we're nutrient deficient right now.
He was nutrient deficient. His
We
teeth
need
were so
to,
messed up.
you know, clean water, clean air, sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
We need sunlight. Not always hiding from the sun and sunscreen and things like that,
Exactly.
which is toxic, by the way. I'm going to do a whole video on that.
Exactly.
Um,
So I live the data.
so,
Two completely unvaxxed children, healthy as can be. They've never gotten sick, and if they do, they're fine. They kick whatever it is. My little guy, he's got his lung issues, so it takes him a while to get better. And then my little guy, before it, he's fine.
that's
So
amazing.
It's
So you have one vaccine injured child,
Uh-huh.
and you kept the others vaccine free.
Yeah, yes. And then after, with Moses, I didn't want any more vaccines. I mean, my gut told me not to do it anymore. I
Yeah.
didn't even know about what's going on. Oh, I better go over there. But yeah, that's what happened.
Thank you for sharing
You're so
your
welcome.
story.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, I think I might be up on the bus. We will see. Hi, love. Here's Mary. She is the world's best homeopath.
Aww.
She has a group on Facebook.
Mary's Homeopathy Study Group.
Mary's Homeopathy Study Group, Mary Aspinwall. If you have vaccine injuries, you need help, she is amazing. She is amazing.
Thank you.
So please,
You're all very
ask
welcome.
her,
And it's
not always me.
and it's not always vaccine injuries that I help people with, but if you want a different way to work with people with childhood illnesses, like if your kid has chickenpox or whooping cough or anything like that, and you want to learn about how to deal with that yourself, then this is a perfect group for you.
Yes.
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 All right.
And I'm going to take classes as well.
Good.
And
I-
yes,
and I
look,
want to.
they know you.
Oh.
Beautiful Mary. Yeah, Mary.
I'm going to broadcast to my group at 11:30. I'm not sure what time it is, but if you're available, I'd love to introduce you to my group.
Sure. Oh, she said, say it again, your name of your group?
Yes, it's Mary's Homeopathy Study Group.
It's a little loud here. Mary's Homeopathy Study Group, I hope.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're all
So,
very
yay.
welcome.
And this is Mary Aspinwall. She's a genius, expert. So,
I'll
here's the
have-
next book.
hopefully get to you
I'll
on
probably still
my
be here.
broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to broadcast from here from 11 to 11:30 on Mary's Homeopathy Study Group. Okay? So I
They
hope
love
I'll
you.
see-
Look.
I'll see some of you.
Mary's Homeopathy Study Group.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll put it in the comments after the video, after I cut it.
I think
Bye,
there's
sweetie.
someone in there now.
Okay. All right, I think I'm next. I have to be a little quieter because I'm close to the bus. But this is another amazing woman.
I'm eating my banana.
Let's go over here. Let's go over here. This is Ann O'Deal, and she set up the Vaxxed bus.
I'm just helping out. That's all I'm doing. Hi.
But she's amazing. And do you want to share your story?
No, not really. But
Okay.
this is, just here raising awareness about vaccine injuries and getting really good feedback from families so far. And it's pretty emotional to be here, to see the bus, see all the names, and families coming and share their story. It's pretty gut-wrenching, really.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're here, helping out.
Me too.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, I am going to do an interview. Another interview.
I'm doing an interview. Well, I just wanted to catch up with you
Hi.
about.
All right, I will be back. Thanks for joining me, guys.